Okay, we're live, Gran. Just ignore the camera. This is just you and I talking a little bit about your life here so that we have you on camera and we have you telling it in your own words, more or less. So, you were born in 1922, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that was growing up in the heart of the Great Depression. You were one of how many kids?
5.
Okay, so you had Uncle Buddy, Uncle
And
Turk,
James.
and James.
And Roy. And Charles.
So you were the only girl?
Huh?
You were the
Yes.
only girl. And what was that like, growing up with a whole bunch of brothers?
A lot of ironing. You didn't buy any clothes that you didn't iron then.
Uh-huh. And
it was not an electric iron. It was an iron that you heated on top of the stove. An iron.
a real iron.
Yeah, and you set it on top of the stove where you cooked and got it hot, and then you ironed with it, and then you put that one back to get hot and get another one.
So you had some of the, quote, women's chores, cooking and ironing and cleaning.
Yeah, well, I didn't do a whole lot of cooking.
Yeah.
I cleaned and I ironed. I like to iron. I like it. The girls think I'm crazy.
Yeah, God love you. God love you. I don't like to iron.
They don't either. They think it's crazy that I iron. But I don't mind ironing at all.
Yeah? So
it's fun with an electric iron.
So you had lots of practice with the ironing with these four
yes.
brothers, and now you're
because they wore like white duck pants they didn't always wear them to school, but they wore that when they went to church or Sunday school.
Right.
But they wore clothes that you had to iron.
Mm-hmm. And then your father, now he was a fisherman, a waterman?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess you could say that he was.
And
he wasn't making a living doing that.
Oh, okay.
But he did fish, and not a great hunter of any kind.
Now, I guess I thought that was his profession. So what, was he a farmer, or what was his... Oh, he was a farmer.
He worked on the farm.
Okay.
But they fished in the season then when you could fish for the rock and sell them. It's not like it is now.
Rockfish, yeah. Okay. And I guess, what was the town that you guys grew up in? Because I'm not even sure that I know that.
Well, it was Vienna.
It was Vienna? It was here?
It wasn't here, but the address is Vienna. It was down, well, I don't know.
Because I think I saw...
Oh, that lake's over there.
I know.
Don't sit down on it.
Yeah, because I think I went to the house once for like maybe a family reunion. I remember I went to a house where there was there was water in the backyard and like a marsh. Was that your parents' house that we went to, or maybe that was just somebody else's house?
I don't know.
A long time
it was
ago.
down in the country, yes.
Yeah.
But it was 7 miles down the road. About 7 miles down the road.
Right.
Crossroads.
Now, why don't you tell me what it was like growing up in the Great Depression?
Well, I didn't think anything about it because we lived on the farm and you ate what you grew.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't buy a whole lot of anything. We had eggs and chicken and milk.
Right. So you were better off than most folks then, it seems like. Than the city folk, I guess.
We had that right there.
Yeah.
I never drank any milk. I could have had all I wanted. I didn't drink any. I might have used a little bit on cereal. But, and we had flour in a great big barrel, and they carried it to the mill and had it, the wheat made into flour. So that's where bread was made with that.
So you really didn't know anything different, because that was just
No,
the way you always grew
was,
up.
Yeah, it was the normal way
Right.
foreign people lived, I guess. That's the way we lived. And we made jelly and jam and preserves and pickles and just anything that we grew, we canned. My grandmother, she would make 50 or 100 quarts of tomatoes or
Oh, wow.
anything like that. Tomatoes was a great thing, and Mom always canned a lot of tomatoes.
And that's obviously where you got your skills for all of your jam and jelly making?
Well, not really.
No?
I just decided I'd do it.
Yeah.
And because they didn't do it like I do mine with this Sure Gel, but they cooked it on the stove at night. They would peel the apples or the peaches or whatever and put sugar on it. It sat all night long with sugar on it, and then they cooked it
Oh, wow.
the next day on a wood stove until it was gelled.
Oh, wow.
So I don't do that.
Well, I mean, gosh, your parents were obviously born in the 1800s then, so... Were they?
I don't know when she was born. She was 69 when she died. But
yeah, because I remember going to see Great Mother once or twice. I mean, because she passed in the 1970s, I would guess.
It's 1969.
Then that isn't her. I guess that was Poppy Mumford's mother then that I went and saw.
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
But, she passed away the same summer that your grandfather did. He died in July and she died in August. And then my father died in February. Within 6 months, I had the 3 closest people to me gone.
That was a tough time.
Huh?
I'm sure that was a very tough time.
It was a rough time.
Wow, I guess, and that's for me good to clarify, because I think I kind of get confused a little bit about, who was with who, because with the Great Mother, I guess that was Poppy Mumford's mom. It wasn't your mom.
No, because you weren't born.
Right. Yeah, so I never,
I don't know how old you were when Grandmother Mumford, when she died.
Yeah, I was born in 1972, and I have a very vague memory of going into Sharptown to see her and Uncle Vaughn.
Yeah.
So I was really little, like maybe 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I do remember that.
My mother died in 1969.
Okay.
It was a month after your grandfather died.
Okay.
Because she went in the hospital not too long after he was born.
Okay.
And
now,
she never came out.
So, now what year did you meet Jack Mumford?
I don't know. I really don't.
Well, how old were you? Were you how
old?
old were you when you met him? Or did you meet him in school when you guys were young?
Well, I knew him when he was in school, but that's all.
Oh, he was just a classmate.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the grade with me, I don't think.
Oh. Was he older or younger?
He was a year older than I.
Oh, he was. And he was a minister's son, right?
Yeah, and his birthday is 3rd of January. He's a year and that many days older than I would have been.
Oh, okay.
And he was, after they left, I didn't really know him that well because they preached at his father preached at the church where I go now. But there was another church, and our church down in the country was on with the church that was the other church. So I didn't really go to the church where the grandfather Mumford was preaching.
Wow, so my great-grandfather preached at that church that we had your birthday party at.
Yes.
Oh, see, I don't think I knew that either.
You didn't?
No, I'm not, I'm not sure I realized it was that particular church. I knew he was a Methodist minister, but I guess I wasn't sure if maybe it was a different church. I mean, I guess I should know, because it's Vienna.
It was that church.
You were right here.
That church where, and I don't know how many years he was here. But he was here a right good while.
Oh, wow. But you didn't go to the same church, but I
didn't go to that church, no.
There was another Methodist church?
Yes.
Oh.
There was a Methodist Episcopal, which I went to, and a Methodist Protestant. I don't know what the difference was. Nothing.
That's
really.
Different.
And then they, about 2 or 3 years before we were married, they joined the churches together.
Oh.
So... I was married in that church up there.
Oh, you were? Now, what year did you guys get married?
Don't ask me that. I don't know if it was 40 or 41.
Okay, so yeah, you were young. You were probably 18?
Yeah, I was 18 or maybe I was 20. I don't know. He would... Right. Your grandfather had to have his father sign for him because he wasn't 21.
Oh!
So I was 20.
Okay.
I mean, I was about 19 and he was 20.
Well, that was pretty normal for back then.
Yes.
I mean, wasn't it? Most people did get married that young.
Let's see. We had been married 28 years when he died.
Yeah.
And he died in 69.
Right.
Can you... figure in your head? I can't. I have to have a piece of paper.
Well, and then Mom was born pretty soon because Mom is only 20 years younger than you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she was born. We were married in August, and she was born in July.
July 42. So you would have been married in 41 then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Aunt Jane was, what, 2 years after Mom? So was she 44? And then Aunt Betty is like maybe 46. Or maybe a little.
Not quite 2 years difference in them, I don't think. I can't keep all that in mind.
I know, that is a little bit much, but...
and then Susan was 9 years younger than Betty.
So what was it like, in Vienna? I mean, you came to this house... you were just telling me in the kitchen over lunch that you had an apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, down by the river. So is that where you lived at first?
When we first got married, we lived on Middle Street in a great big house.
Oh.
And then nobody had been living in it for a right good while. Mm-hmm. And we rented it. And then somebody bought the house. And they were going to live in it, so we had to leave. That was when your grandfather was in the Army, is when when we moved around there. And we lived in one of those apartments down by the river.
So were you by yourself sometimes while he was in the Army?
I was by myself all the time.
Oh, how is that? Not easy. You had two little girls?
Just your mother, and then Jane was born while he was in the Army. Mm-hmm. And then Betty was born after he was discharged and come home.
Oh, okay.
But I was by myself.
A good bit. Well, you probably had your friends and your family here, and...
Well, yes, I stayed a lot of times down with my mother and father. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to eat or anything else, because I got I got $125 a month after Jane was born. Mm-hmm. Before she was born, I got 80-something.
So that was from the Army then?
Yes.
Okay.
That was all the money I had to live on for a month.
Oh, gosh.
And your grandfather, he got $5 is all he ever got. Because it all come home to me.
Oh, boy.
And, well, there was a lot of things you couldn't buy either.
A ration.
Yeah. You couldn't buy butter.
Ooh.
you couldn't buy hardly any kind of meat at all.
So what did you do?
Well, if he was, after he got where he could come home now and then, I would save up all the coupons and things that you got, and for me to, so I could buy a piece of meat when he was coming home.
And what would be the good piece of meat? Like a piece of steak or?
Well, yeah,
something
a
like
piece of
that.
Steak or something like that.
Something special.
But there wasn't much you could buy, and you didn't have much money to buy it with either. I mean, I had to pay rent. I had to buy fuel to keep warm, and that it didn't take long for $100 to be gone.
No doubt. And I guess back then, he was in the Army throughout the whole course of the war?
Huh?
He was in the Army for the entire war, like for a couple years?
He was there for almost 3 years, I think.
Wow. So when he came home, then you guys were still living down?
We were still living down there. And we built this house when Susan was 3 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you wanted to still stay in Vienna with all your family, and there was never any doubt that you were going to live somewhere else and built this house.
So, because when we moved in this house, she said, "Daddy, how long are we going to stay at this motel?"
At the motel?
Yeah, we had been away a time or two and stayed in a motel. And she said, "How long are we going to stay at this motel?" He said, "I think we're here to stay."
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sure he was very happy to, have a house that you guys owned.
And he and my father built it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that it was something that they did together, certainly.
And the girls helped. Everyone helped, too. We had pictures of them putting the bricks on. Your mother and her father, the two of them, I don't know where they are. They're here somewhere. But he was putting the bricks on. She was helping him.
Oh, wow. Now, how did he get the idea for the design of the house? I mean, was he a carpenter, or how did he know how to do that?
He designed it. Jack did.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew what we wanted. So he built it like we wanted.
I would say it's a well-insulated house from how toasty it always is here in the dead of winter.
It is. I'm sure it's the best insulated house anywhere around here. I would be willing to bet that it is.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Well, now, for us grandkids that never knew, and we always call him Poppy Mumford, Jack, what would be the one thing that you'd want all of us to know about him, since we never had the opportunity to know him? We just hear about him through stories and through our moms. What would you want for us to all know about Jack that maybe, we don't know?
I don't know. I think he would, Susan was talking about it. She said he would be so happy that they could all sing. And I mean, some out of every family can sing. And he would, because he liked to sing.
He was a big singer, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Now, can you see him in any of your grandsons, whether it's looks or maybe mannerisms or personality or talents? Do you see him?
I don't know. Sarah looks a good bit. Your mother looks a good bit like him. Jane looks more like my family, like my mother, and she and Susan look a lot alike, I think. Betty, I don't know. She's a lot like Grandmother Mumford in her ways.
Yeah? Oh, it sounds like we've got someone coming into the house right now. We should probably put it on pause real quick.